Hello everybody, David Shuster here, and a special hello to all of you who are seeing this video via the Blue Amp Substack. It is my honor to contribute to the efforts of my longtime friend Cliff Shuster. I hope you enjoy our videos. I know you will enjoy our videos, analysis, and video reports. So let's get started with this one. I want to focus on what seems to be a compelling sea change in the political standing of the Trump administration. It starts with this.
On the CBS Money Watch, the stock market closed out the week with the worst day of the year so far. The Dow losing 748 points. The NASDAQ and S&P also were off.
So that was the end of last week, just a few days ago. The stock markets had their worst day of the year. That particular drop was driven by a troubling report about consumer confidence. Now, keep in mind that public sentiment drives about 70% of all U.S. economic activity. So when consumers are feeling good about the economy, that can help the economy grow. Unfortunately, consumer confidence has now taken a nosedive. A widely respected survey by the University of Michigan, go Blue, found that consumer confidence in the U.S. economy after just 1 month of the Trump administration dropped by 10%. When you take that dip in public confidence and combine it with rising prices driven by labor deportations in the agricultural and construction industries, and throw in the Trump tariff threats, which are also causing instability, well, you have the makings of a recession. That is now the expectation of investors on Wall Street. And some of the Democratic Party's biggest stars who tried to warn Americans months ago are speaking out.
I don't mean to be gloom and doom, but when you have somebody that is firing people from the 15th largest employer in the world, which is the federal government, and then when you are saying, let's kick out these amazing people that have actually contributed to our country in the form of building our homes, as you're complaining about the cost of homes. When you're talking about people that are going and working the farms, as you're complaining about the cost of food, as you're getting rid of people that are working on bird flu, and you're like, oopsie, didn't realize that's what you were doing. We are living with this incompetent administration that is literally driving us to a recession at warp speed. And all I can say is hold on to your money and make sure that you have a way to make money, even if you lose your job.
While working class Americans are increasingly anxious about the economy and their own finances, the Trump point man creating much of the chaos and instability in Washington is Elon Musk, the world's wealthiest man. And yes, there is something remarkable about Musk, with all of his hundreds of billions of dollars, government contracts, and taxpayer subsidies, deciding the fate of our Social Security, Medicare, and countless government services that so many of us depend on. Adding to the weirdness of it all is Musk himself and his antics like this at a conservative conference.
This is the chainsaw for bureaucracy. Chainsaw!
That yell sounded like Howard Dean. Seriously.
And then we're going to Washington, D.C. to take back the White House.
Anyway, Howard Dean never quite recovered politically 20 years ago, and while Elon Musk is already in the White House courtesy of Donald Trump, Musk's weirdness, combined with his draconian budget cuts, apparent conflicts of interest, and reliance on people who seem to know nothing about government, has ticked off a lot of Americans. There is a callousness to Musk and Trump treating government workers like crap. And there's also a sloppiness and randomness, from the firing of people who take care of nuclear weapons to the dismissal of inspectors general who investigate government waste, fraud, and abuse. Experts say the opportunity for corruption in government has skyrocketed thanks to Donald Trump and Elon Musk. More importantly, much of the public seems to fear that as well. And in countless congressional districts, which were carried easily by Donald Trump, voters are speaking out and hammering Republicans who are trying to defend Trump and Musk.
Elon Musk and the president have agreed that if there is any potential conflict of interest, and it's clear today that some people don't believe that would happen.
It's your job
in the next election to elect someone that you believe.
We didn't elect Elon. Remember your oath. You don't represent us. You represent Elon Musk. You're a violation of your oath, sir.
There is an argument in Democratic circles about whether Democratic lawmakers should be laying low as Republicans shoot themselves in the foot. The argument from some strategists like James Carville is that Democrats who don't control the House or the Senate might as well wait for Republicans to crumble under the weight of their own unpopularity and incompetence. And Republicans have a long history of governmental incompetence. Cliff Shuster and I were talking the other day about Democratic strategy, and I agree with Cliff that when your political opponent is sinking, you should throw them an anvil, help them drown. One Democrat who is doing this very effectively and humorously, in my view, is House member Robert Garcia of California.
Now, I find it ironic, of course, that our chairwoman, Congresswoman Green, is in charge of running this committee. Now, in the last Congress, Chairwoman Green literally showed a dick pic in our oversight congressional hearing, so I thought I'd bring one as well. Now, this, of course, we know is President Elon Musk. He's also the world's richest man. He was the biggest political donor in the last election. He has billions of dollars in conflicts of interest, and we know that he is leading a power grab, also abided by and encouraged by Donald Trump and, of course, the chairwoman, Congresswoman Green.
Garcia then faced questions about that hearing in a segment on CNN.
Do you think that calling Elon Musk a dick is effective messaging for confronting what is a potentially irreversible transformation of the U.S. government?
Well, he is a dick.
To underscore Garcia's point, Elon Musk reportedly encouraged the U.S. Attorney for Washington, D.C. to send a Justice Department letter warning Garcia of a federal inquiry. Never mind, of course, that Garcia was well within his First Amendment rights, and that settled case law has long established that calling anybody a dick is not a physical threat. But Elon Musk keeps reinforcing the perceptions and making the ridicule of him even more prescient. And by the way, Elon Musk's approval ratings are underwater.
Look at this. Just 42% of registered voters approve. Just 39% of independents approve of the role that he currently has. Take a look here, though. What takes the cake? 54% disapprove.
And Donald Trump's approval ratings are also underwater. In fact, Donald Trump now has the worst approval ratings of any president in U.S. history at this point, 1 month into a new administration. A tanking economy, the loss of consumer confidence, and the image of a White House that is unstable will not help Donald Trump. Things are going to get worse for him and for America, not better. And now, the public is catching on.
When will you stand up to them and say that is enough?
The end result of the fraud and abuse that has been discovered already.
Absolutely no proof.
President Trump has issued a lot of executive orders. I think by and large this is moving very quickly compared to other administrations, and I think across the board he's done some very good things. I think
the public is catching on. This is a watershed moment. Thanks again for watching via the Blue Amp Substack. I'm David Shuster.